Hello Ipilot fans, my name is Florian Reichel. I'm the top manager here in Düsseldorf and I welcome you to a short tour through our cockpit of the virtual heavyweight that we have here in Düsseldorf, the Boeing 747-400. The Boeing 747 is generally known as jumbo jet and will be flown at many airlines around the world such as Lufthansa, British Airways, Qantas or Singapore Airlines. These airlines use this aircraft type as passenger and cargo version. The passenger version can carry up to 550 passengers and the cargo version can carry 120 tons freight. This aircraft has then got a maximum takeoff weight of 396 tons, and with its wingspan of 64.5 meters, this aircraft can fly up to 30,400 kilometers without any stop. So you see, it's a heavy aircraft, and that you know how to control this aircraft. If you visit us next time, I invite you to come a bit closer so that I can explain all displays to you. The Boeing 747 will be controlled by a hydromechanical control, which means that we control the aircraft by this yoke. If we pull the yoke, the aircraft climbs. If we push the yoke, the aircraft descends. If we then turn the yoke to the left, the aircraft will fly a left turn. And if we turn the yoke to the right, the aircraft will fly a right turn. On this screen here you can see all the important flight data, so therefore we call this screen the primary flight display. In the middle you see the artificial horizon with the sky in blue and the ground in orange. You can see the two black lines which represents your wings, and you can see the small black spot who represents your nose. You can see the small white lines which give you an indication of your pitch, if you climb or descend, and this scalar here shows you the indication for the instrumenting landing system. On the left you see your speed, which is measured in knots or nautical miles per hour. You can see the ground speed below that. On the right you see your altitude, which is measured in feet. Further right you see the vertical speed indicator, who measures if you climb or descend in 1000 feet per minute. Here we got the current pressure and the small compass rose, and above that we see the pre-selected numbers, speed and altitude that are set in the autopilot. And this means that we will, after airborne, maintain 5,000 feet and 190 knots of speed. The next screen is a multifunctional display, which means that this display can show us different modes. In this case we have set the navigation mode. We can see the small white triangle which represents our aircraft. We can see a compass rose. We have, for example, west in this direction, north, east and south. We see the magenta line which represents our programmed course that we will fly. We see all the waypoints we will go through, and we see the waypoint that is actually active and that we will fly to next. We can see here the name of this waypoint, the estimated time that when we will reach this waypoint, and the distance to that waypoint. Here we have our current heading, and we can see the ground speed, and below that the wind direction and speed as well. This mode, or this screen, can show us, as I said, different modes. We have here the planning mode, where we can see all the waypoints when we program the route on our FMC or flight management computer, and we can also use this screen for the instrument landing, so that this screen shows us the correct position that we shall fly to reach or to touch down on the middle of the runway. Now we can see the Autopilot panel and some switches that we can use to switch through the different modes of the navigational or multifunctional display. Here on this side we have the automatic thrust system. We will maintain, as I said, 190 knots if we are airborne. Then we will maintain the heading. Here on this switch we can set different headings, for example. Further right we got the altitude setting, so we can set 5,000 feet and the aircraft will automatically maintain 5,000 feet. On this screen we can set the climb and descent rate, so for example 500 feet to climb with 500 feet per minute to reach these 5,000 feet that we actually set here in the altitude mode. We got here our autopilot that we can set on. We got 3 autopilots in this aircraft. Here we can set off the autopilot. Here we got some more switches for the ECAM and ECAS screens to show us different modes, hydraulic and electronic systems. Lower here we got the screen which shows us the main engine data, so the pressure, the fuel flow and all the oil temperature and oil pressure. Further right we got the flap setting, which is now set to 20 degrees. Here we got the trim, and further right we got the gear lever. With this lever we can set up the gear after we are airborne, or we can set the gear down before we land. So let's now get to the mid panel. We can see here the thrust levers. We got 4 of them because the Boeing 747-400 has got 4 engines. We got on the left the speed breaker that will move out and dump the lift on the wing after we landed the aircraft on the runway. On the right side we got the flaps. The flaps increase or ensure that we have lift while we approach and have a low speed. Down here we got the radio management panels, so that we can talk to the air traffic controller on the correct frequency. We get the transponder as well. We have here our fuel control switches, so if we want to shut down the engines then we move these switches. Down here in the middle and also on the left and right we got our flight management computers. Here we can set our origin and destination airport, we can program the route, and we can also set important data such as the weight of the aircraft, temperature, wind, runway settings and so on. So, I hope you had fun watching this short introduction of our Boeing 747-400. If you're now interested in flying this aircraft or another one of our Ipilot fleet, then I invite you to visit one of our Ipilot shops around Europe and the Near East, or visit our website www.flyipilot.com. Book a ticket, and I'm glad to welcome you soon on the captain seat. Finally, I have to say thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.